Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so I'll give you a brief history, okay? So the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we won the battle of Badr under his leadership. Then we had some serious losses in the incident at Uhud. There were two battles now between us and the mushrikun of Mecca. The Muslims are in Medina, they're in Mecca. We've clashed militarily 2 major times. The third time the Quraysh say, we don't want this 50% chance we win, 50% chance we lose. We want 100% guarantee of winning. So what we're going to do is we're going to gather all of the tribes of Arabia and make sure we have all of their support, as many of them as we can get. We're going to go to each of them and say, listen, the Muslims are our enemy, but I tell you, if they become powerful, they will come after you. So if you want to stay the way things are, you should join us. Let's end this problem, because right now this is our problem, but if you don't help us and don't become the United Nations of Arabia, United Tribes of Arabia, this is going to become all of our problem. We have to eliminate the Islamic threat. We have to do that. So then they went to all the tribes and they said, you need to unite with us, and we all go together, and instead of waiting for a battlefield, we'll all march to Medina. And our army is going to be so big, because it's going to be made up of all the tribes, that we're going to walk into Medina and we will kill every man, woman and child of the Muslims. We'll get rid of all of them. We'll just finish the story. End the problem. Because it's becoming a serious problem. So a lot of tribes who used to be neutral, they did not hate Islam. They were not enemies of the Prophet ﷺ. But when they were given the story that this is a matter of national security, they became convinced and they said, fine, if it's a matter of protecting the way of our life and the way things are, we'll come with you. So now a huge legion, which is why it's called Al-Ahzab, different groups, huge legion of armies are coming, heading towards Medina. On the other hand, the Jews of Medina, who had made a peace treaty with the Muslims of Medina, made a secret treaty with the Yemeni tribes and some of the Christian tribes in the back of the Muslims, and said, listen, if the Muslims get attacked and we don't have enough forces, you guys can attack from the other side. You can take us out from you can take them out from the other side. So from this side the Quraysh will come and get them. From this side you can come and get them. They're going to be done. We'll help you from the inside. Now the Muslims have 3 enemies. One enemy coming from above, one enemy coming from below, and one enemy that is where? Inside. This is going to be over. This is it. Allah Azza wa Jal decided that He is going to, He describes this entire scenario in Surah Al-Ahzab. Okay, Surah number 33 is where this entire scene is painted. إِذْ جَاءُوكُم مِّن فَوْقِكُمْ وَمِنْ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُمْ وَإِذْ زَاغَتِ الْأَبْصَارُ وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبُ الْحَنَاجِرَ وَتَظُنُّونَ بِاللَّهِ الظُّنُونَ هُنَالِكَ ابْتُلِيَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَزُلْزِلُوا زِلْزَالًا شَدِيدًا. It's incredible ayat. When the armies were coming from above you and from below you, and when your eyes were wide open like this, you couldn't even blink your eyes, you were that scared, and your hearts were reaching into your throats, and you were thinking all kinds of thought, then and there the Muslims were tested, and the earth beneath their feet was shaken. وَزُلْزِلُوا زِلْزَالًا شَدِيدًا. Oh, they were shaken all right. They were intensely shaken. Oof. That is the scene of the Battle of Ahzab. And then we know that the advice of Salman al-Farisi radiallahu ta'ala anhu was to dig a hole, dig a trench all around the city, so that their horses and their cavalry can't enter into the city. They'll fall into the ditch, but they won't be able to come up. And that is the only thing keeping the entire city alive. That is the only thing. Now we're in this crazy situation. Allah Azza wa Jal protected the Muslims anyway. And they are waiting outside, because the city does not have all of the food supplies and all of the rations inside. Eventually they're going to run out of food. Eventually they're going to run out of supplies. So they will have to surrender. Eventually. So the armies decided that we'll just wait outside the trench. Fine, we won't fight. We won't come into the trench, we'll just wait outside. After 5-6 weeks, the people inside will die anyway of starvation. Or they'll come out and surrender. So Allah Azza wa Jal sent, إِذْ أَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ رِيحًا وَجُنُودًا لَمْ تَرَوْهَا. We sent winds against them. Now imagine the army's camp. Guys, I want you to imagine this picture. There are soldiers, they've got a, whoa, where did that come from? Allah sent winds and somebody sent a balloon. Well, anyway, okay, so you've got these tents. Armies, soldiers have tents. And how do they cook? They make a barbecue outside with a fire, right? They don't have microwaves back in the day. So they have to make a fire. And they're cooking their food or whatever. And a wind comes and the pot tips over. And it sets fire to the tent. And when it sets fire to the tent, the horses go crazy and they run away. And the fire spreads and 3 or 4 or 5 tents are on fire now. In other words, these winds kept coming and causing so many problems for the army on the outside that eventually they said, we can't stay here anymore. They left. They left. So instead of waiting for the Muslims to come out, they couldn't handle it on the outside. Allah defended the Muslims by the wind. By the wind. And they left. They failed. They failed in their attack.